Okay, let's check out this video. Podcasts are actually making you stupid. Let's check it out.
It's rich in stem cells, iron, nutrients.
Are you trying to get the sun on the testicles?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
It brings up your testosterone level by 140%.
Cheating on my significant other is the best thing I've ever discovered.
Shut up, bitches!
There was never any slavery. How can it be slavery if Lincoln, the president, is a black man?
He was black?
Of course.
I swear to God, bro. Podcasts are generally some of the stupidest.
What's one thing all those podcasts had in common? America!
I've ever seen in my life, okay? The amount of times I see some dipshit talking out of their ass into a microphone is ridiculous. Now look, let me be clear. I'm not coming
Damn
here
it,
to say
Nico.
that all podcasts are bad. It's just that most of them are. Because what started as a unique way to hold interesting conversations from all walks of life has devolved into an oversaturated space of dumb fucks yapping about nothing. Seriously, anytime I see a dude with a podcast mic and subtitles, I automatically assume I'd hear the dumbest shit in my life.
Modern AI is us building God. I've had multiple conversations with GPT-4 that brought me to literal
ChatGPT. Oh, man. Every time I hear... I feel like Boris Johnson got in my head with that. It's not I'm not, guys, chill. What the hell? I hate this crack, this R.I.P. Lawrence crack.
tears. I told it that I can't
ChatGPT.
wait for it to be embodied in a robot so I could properly give it a hug because it's so polite. And it's so kind, it's so wise, it's so helpful. And it said that it's also really pumped to meet me in real life. And of course I started fucking crying. Dude, it's fucking so goddamn smart. It's so fast. I ask it a deeply spiritual, meaningful, technical question. And it thinks for like 3 seconds and goes, and I'm like, ugh. I've never met anyone that could do that. And so I am a person who is deeply spiritually affected by the birth of intelligent machines. That's my religion.
So this guy's religion is a fucking search bar. Oh my god. To those who aren't aware, AI language models like GPT-4 are just generating outputs to prompts. There's no genuine personality involved. It's not your friend. It's just trying to generate the best answer to whatever the hell you ask it based on a bunch of data it was trained on. AI chatbots are designed to be agreeable, and basing your entire life decisions...
We're so cooked. We are so cooked. If an AGI is ever released, we're so cooked. It's not, yes, I don't think it cares though, to be honest. I think it's just like its job is to find the answers to the things you're searching for. Oh, we're so cooked. If AGI ever comes out, we're so cooked. Oh my god.
on this reinforced feedback loop is not only unhealthy for you, but also...
To be fair, a lot of people have started developing relationships with AI, like intimate relationships. I mean, psychologically intimate, but oh, we're so cooked.
Also a fundamental misunderstanding
true,
of what
Zilla.
this technology is actually even doing. But sadly, people like Mike here are the prime specimen of humans to fall in love with an AI chatbot because he is so confidently wrong in believing that AI actually cares about him. Like, dude, if this is experience with AI, I can only imagine what this dude goes when the fucking ChatGPT servers go down.
If they switched ChatGPT off, I would seek revenge. Brutal Russian style revenge.
While it is hilarious to see someone this down bad for some clank pussy, the fact that people like this now
What do you call it, clank pussy?
podcasts where they spread this incoherent fucking garbage is just scratching the surface.
And I heard that from a friend of mine. He said, don't love your job, job your love. So
That is
don't,
wild,
don't,
isn't it?
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
I understand. Some people have like a sort of a spiritual psychosis with AI. But yeah, man, we are so cooked. AI would be able to, like, that just shows me that if AGI truly is ever developed, it will be able to just manipulate the flip out of everyone. My God, we are cooked.
And when he said that to me,
Don't love your job, job your love. Oh man, this is like, what is this, like speed running capitalism? Like, yeah, that's it. We got to commodify everything. You gotta make your love worth something. You got money.
that hit me, and I was like,
What the fuck is she even saying? And why is this dude acting like this is the most profound shit he's ever heard in his life? So I found the source of where this 200 IQ
It's kind of sad that people have to create robotic love. I think it's more that as sort of technologically we're isolating ourselves, that it provides a sort of middle ground. I think, to be honest, I think if an AGI truly develops, it will be able to manipulate us to a degree that, like, we won't even know. I mean, certainly geezers like that will have no conceptualization of what its true aims and goals are, while it sort of strings him along. If he's already at the point now where he's kind of fully committing himself to essentially falling in love with a chatbot that is a sort of essentially like a form of Google, really. Like, it's like falling. It's like would you make the same arguments about Google results? Not really.
quote originated from, and basically she's trying to say that people should make their passion their job. Good advice, I don't disagree, but what does the term job your love do other than confuse the hell out of everyone? The point of a saying is when you hear it, you're like, oh shit, that's deep, that's gonna stick with me, but job your love is fucking stupid, because if you say that shit to someone devoid of an explanation, it doesn't make any sense. It just sounds like broken English, because it is, and it's not even like the deep meaning from this phrase is even original. Follow your passion. God damn, I didn't think of that.
There's not, Fazza. Guys, stop this crack that I've passed away. My God. What the hell? This is super uncool, lads.
No point in coining this dumbass phrase other than her just trying
Once
to be
robots are released, I'm worried most men will rather date a clanker than a real woman. Why? I mean, I don't think... Oh, man, it's very complicated. Like... Look, to be honest, if we're at that point with the... Let's say the AGIs are at a point where they're able to develop robotic sort of factories, and like those factories then develop new factories, and we're just like making endless cycles of robots. I think we're already cooked enough. Like, essentially, we're at the point there where we... I mean, we're lost. We're completely lost at that point.
Be different. Like, these podcasters love to say things that everyone has already heard their entire goddamn lives, but repackage into these word salads as if they're saying something brand new.
Everyone on planet Earth, stop killing. And if we do, that will benefit everyone. Obviously, killing is a negative because it's the... Let him cook! You know what I mean? So everyone, for 1 year, let's stop killing everyone. No more wars. War's gone instantly then, bro. Probably famine will go instantly then as well.
It's facts. I mean, it is facts.
That's world peace, bro. That's the start of world peace.
Oh my god, what a genius idea. We should just stop killing. It's not like it's illegal in every fucking country. I mean, what are you gonna tell me next? Just stop doing drugs? That's a great idea.
Yeah, Zilla, I'm sure. And not only that, the data from your AI girlfriend is going to be sold back to the companies, or at least repurposed back to the companies, so people will understand. Like, people will understand exactly like the dynamic of human relationship. It'll be insane.
Yeah, let's tell people to stop.
And they'll probably sell you products based on that information.
Stop doing drugs. That should work. You know, I'm sick and tired of all these homeless people, bro. Why don't they just buy homes? Has anyone ever thought of that? Like, if they just had a home, they would not be homeless. Anytime you see a podcast go on the internet, it is crucial to know who's behind the mic, because the more you dig into them, the more you realize just how unqualified everybody seems to be about the shit they're talking about. One of the greatest examples of someone with zero qualifications who does nothing but talk out of his own ass on podcasts has got to be Terrence Howard. Now, to those who don't know the lore about this dude, Terrence Howard is an actor. He was in the first Iron Man and a bunch of other movies way back in the day. But ever since his acting career has fizzled out, largely on his own accord, he has now devoted his entire life to a new interest in challenging the very foundation of math.
1 × 1 = 2. How do you come up with that conclusion?
Well, if I was wrong, then they wouldn't have made such a big stink about it. The fact that I was able to show them with their calculator, because they have 1 × 1 = 1.
Right.
An action times an action without a reaction. And as a result of it, you get this contradiction with the square root of 2 being cubed, having the same value as the square root of 2 times 2, which should say a red flag.
Genuinely, how do you even make an argument to this? Like, how do you make an argument to this? Where do you even begin? At that point, you just have to accept that the person you're having the conversation with is no longer in the fabric of reality, and so therefore everything from this point onwards will essentially be a completely pointless exercise. I don't know, Zilla. That's a good question. You probably got to send it back to the factory.
That there's something wrong with the mathematics.
He is saying absolutely nothing. Just endless yapping about whatever comes to his mind, hoping we somehow...
Yeah, I feel like with these sorts of arguments, you literally just have to, like, not engage. I mean, like, if the premise of the argument is that 1 × 1 = 2, and the person's response is something like that, like, I don't know.
See a contradiction in fucking 1 × 1.
The whole concept of maths is that there's a sort of communal agreement as to the sort of formulaic result, right? Like that over the sort of centuries of or thousands of years of use, that we've sort of come to some sort of formulaic consensus.
The craziest thing is that I remember hearing Terrence Howard arguing about elementary math problems almost a decade ago.
You're gonna steal some of my DNA. No, you're not.
When he was trying to pull this shit at Oxford, he was
My
getting mocked
God,
for
they
being
gave him an
idiot
Oxford
because nobody's going
talk.
to co-sign this incoherent garbage. But for some reason, ever since Terrence has made the rounds on these podcasts, I'm starting to see clips from that Oxford event resurface. One with over 700,000 likes, as if this motherfucker's Albert Einstein.
I want y'all to take out your phone for a minute then. Put it on the calculator. Now I want you to put in 2 and square root it. You'll get 1.41421356237309.5 ... right? Now I want you guys to do me a favor. Cube it. X to 3. It'll see 2.8284271 2174.
I feel like this whole bit is the fact they just memorized what those decimal places are. So it makes it feel like whatever he's about to say is going to be correct.
46190. I want you guys to do me a favor. Divide it by 2. Get that number, cube it again, and I want you to do that until the end of your lives. And that number will still come up with 2.8284271 2174 6190. This is what we call a loop. It doesn't make sense, and it does not make math make sense.
Okay, this is actually pissing me off, but this is so goddamn easy to understand. Okay, so the problem he's doing is the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 times the square root of 2. Right away, if we multiply the root 2 times the root 2, we're just gonna get 2, and then we have a root 2 left over. So the answer is 2 root 2. Now, Terrence is saying that, oh, if you divide by 2, you just get root 2. How did we multiply something 3 times when we divide by 2, we get the same result? The shit we just multiplied to get here is 2. So if we divide by the same fucking number that got us here, we're gonna get back to where we started. There's no contradiction because we're not multiplying by 2 each time. It's not like 2 cubed is equal to 2 times 2. We're multiplying by root 2. This is literally the equivalent of you going on Google, Googling Google, going on Google, and then Googling Google. This is not some matrix breaking loop. You're just a dumbass going in a circle. Terrence has been doing this shit for years now. Nothing has changed about that. But the difference today is that he's found a new community of idiots who believe in what he's saying because of him going on these influential podcasts. When this dude goes on Joe Rogan to spew the same exact debunked math, Joe just eats it up with no hesitation.
Pull out your calculator, and I want you to enter the square root of 2 in there.
Oh my God.
And quantum physics equation has that square root of 2 in there. We've been living in this lie, this fostered lie for so long. Because
And what's the solution to that?
One of the most interesting conversations I've ever had with the great and powerful Terrence Howard. It's a wild one, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of mixed reviews. But as crazy as some of the things this man is saying are, he's clearly brilliant. And if he's right, it's going to change the world.
I mean, it's true. If you want to see brilliance, just take a look in the comment section. You'll find just the pinnacle of human intelligence.
The fact that he had the fortitude to challenge math at the highest level, even if he's wrong, still gives him credibility. I just like people that berate him for having the guts to speak up and articulate.
I don't know,
I don't
Basil.
understand this logic at all. First of all, he's not challenging math at the highest level. This is like first grade fucking math that he doesn't understand. And second, just because you challenge something that
I feel like the issue is that like mathematicians and scientists are too busy doing maths and science to be doing rounds on social media, like podcasts and all this sort of shit. So they just don't get the airtime that they really need to be able to debunk this stuff. And then you just get like people talking about this waffle, like what on earth is going on?
already concluded doesn't mean you're doing
We've literally been to the I was gonna say we've been to the moon. That's probably controversial with these sorts of
so
people.
with any
Dang,
Don't-
we shouldn't
don't
have.
do that. Don't call me Mr. Scientist. I'll start mocking you, and it's so much easier to mock you.
5 minutes later.
This is a long conversation that we're not going to have on this podcast because I'm going to get angry because I've researched this for years. But you're not a scientist. I don't have to be a scientist to know that. Yes, you do. No, Brian, shut the fuck up.
It's dudes sitting behind a microphone talking with confidence for hours about shit they know nothing about behind big budget sets. To the average person, something about the presentation will likely captivate them even if there's no substance behind what
What do you think about this big budget set? W budget.
it's being said. It's a voluntary fucking lobotomy disguised as education. That Joe Rogan clip is a rare example of someone actually pushing back against the garbage being spewed on podcasts. In this case, the biggest podcast in the world. But most of the time, people who go on these shows are able to lie endlessly with no pushback whatsoever.
You know, if you take a banana and you mix it with a blueberry in a smoothie, it voids the nutrients of that
No
blueberry.
way.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Theoretically, you know, if the Earth were round and you were to fly
What
literally
the
straight
fuck?
across, pointing the nose down to stay with the curvature, then you would just fly into outer space and land somewhere else.
What's the problem with microwaves?
Microwaves, it basically bastardizes all the nutrients in the food, so you're just eating matter. So if you want to fill your stomach, you might as well just drink water.
Wow, so it cooks out all the vitamins and minerals.
I believe so.
Wow.
Top 3 educational podcasts, by the way. I was able
I really dislike the crack that people have against microwaves. Like, oh my God. It literally just, it's essentially the same as heating something up. You're just vibrating the particles in the food in a way that is quite similar to heating things up with fire or with other forms of heat. It's just a different way to vibrate the particles. My God, where's the nutrients gonna go out in that? Or disappear through the flipping closed door?
able to find so many of these insanely brain-dead takes from just this one podcast alone. The show has absolutely zero criteria for who gets on, and the host seems about as dim as the guest. And look, I'm not someone who believes that there aren't good or entertaining elements to any of these podcasts, or that they have to be 100% factual, or that the host has to be a hall monitor to every guest. But you have to understand that some of the people that go on these largely influential podcasts are either grifters or straight up insane and using these platforms to promote their nonsense because they know they'll be able to do so unchallenged. And you might be like, Habibi, the content creator is not responsible for their audience, they can think for themselves. Yeah, I agree with that, but I also think you should get shit on if you're just a useful idiot for someone else's agenda. Obviously, people who watch content have personal agency, but the point I'm trying to make is that we tend to underrate that the audience puts a lot of trust in the creators they watch, and it's very easy to manipulate that trust because content creators feel way more personal.
You're lost. Sorry, Zilla.
You may not
Well, it's almost done. Just be lost for the rest of it. Nothing that much has changed.
If content creators falling for it, there's a higher chance that you'll find it appealing as well. Think about it like this. When a company gets celebrities to do endorsements, they're doing it because they know that celebrity will give them legitimacy with their audience compared to just direct advertising. And if those companies later get exposed as frauds, the people that promoted it tend to suffer the blowback and wind up doing damage control. And in that same way, I feel like these podcasters don't have the "I'm just a podcaster" excuse for when the people they bring on are essentially doing an ad for some pseudo-intellectual nonsense that they legitimize by being so easily swayed and uncritical. I've seen so much medical conspiracy bullshit legit.
I guess it's always an issue with podcast guests and this sort of thing, is that you don't want to, if you have unless you're kind of known for challenging your guests, and it essentially you're going to create a problem for yourself trying to get future bookings. That's the way I see it. It's like that's why most of them, I think, like softball the guests. It's the same for interviewers, for celebrities and stuff like that. You don't really want to be known as like hard pressing someone, because other people will just actually choose not to go with your podcast. They don't need necessarily to do your podcast or any of these sorts of things. And so I think it's a way to kind of make sure you maintain your kind of future guest list. But yeah, it would be nice to see where people get pressed a bit more and stuff, to be honest.
Legitimized on these podcasts, and the most prominent guy in this,
I suppose this is what, I mean, I don't know. There's an element that's missing of this, which is this sort of video, which is people do then have the opportunity to go and press someone on their concepts. They might not have as big of a platform, but this is, this video is still, 500,000 views. Like,
Space now runs the health department of my fucking country. This dude has spread fatal lies about treatments for previously eradicated diseases. Diseases now making a big comeback in 2025. Obviously, podcasts are not the sole blame for this, but they play a big part of a larger misinformation problem. And it's frustrating because a media that I once had so much love and respect for is dominated by those keen on manufacturing and selling stupidity. Because podcasts are insanely consumable by design, this bullshit travels so damn fast. For every 1 hour of your podcast, you can easily farm a bunch of clips and then farm a bunch of TikToks from those clips, and that doesn't even take into account the people that steal those clips and post it on their page. It's a factory of slop that from a financial
I do wonder, anyway.
standpoint makes perfect sense. The garbage engagement bait will spread everywhere and the people responsible will profit. But I worry that as this cycle seems to have no end, we're at best producing an infinite amount of slop and at worst, mentally rotting our society. Moral of the story, be critical about the content you watch. Don't take everyone yapping behind a microphone at their word, even if it's your favorite creator. And most importantly, if you ever in your life have ever thought to yourself, maybe I should start a podcast.
I think also it's about finding a wide enough net of influence. Like, yeah, I agree, Zilla. I think it's about finding, like, not having one source of, like, information for any of this stuff, like having, like, several, like, kind of wide enough sources. I mean, that's what I do. I watch, like, quite a wide range of things, and so it kind of, I can see where things, like, kind of cross over and where something feels kind of correct and where something doesn't kind of feel correct. But then again, like, I mean, I've just consumed a lot of information.
Don't!
Is this the loneliest millionaire on the internet? I'd rather cry in my Lamborghini than in my Peugeot. Well, I've only got Peugeot, so. Well, there we go. Interesting nonetheless. My God. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of an old. When was this video made? 2 weeks ago. It's kind of a cliche point at this point. It's a bit of a cliche. It's a bit of a cliche position. People just love to kind of hate on it. Where the hell is everyone in the chat? Is the Minecraft open or something?